So when you think about the vastness of Australia's maritime domains, we have the third largest exclusive economic zone in the world. And the fact that Australia as an island nation is dependent on maritime trade, so about 91% of our trade occurs from the maritime domain, you can understand why it's so important that Australia has a Navy, and we have the Royal Australian Navy. Now, the Royal Australian Navy does a number of things, right? Navies have a lot of functions, from constabulary, which is effectively policing on the sea, so dealing with irregular migration to illegal fishing, all the way to assistance to the community, so defence assistance to the community. You will have seen HMAS Choules, for example, that assist in the evacuation of Mallacoota to the bushfires, to high-end warfighting. Now, a key element of all of those spectrums of naval operations is the concept of naval diplomacy. And so navies go around the world, they're almost like a floating embassy in a way, to visit and develop relationships. Naval exercises is a key element of developing relationships, and they sit on the spectrum from quite minor, so two ships might sail together, practice flag drills, which is how ships can communicate with each other. They also have radios in the modern day, but flag drills are really cool, to high-end warfighting naval exercises. And a way to increase our relationships, fly our flag, is to undertake these. Now, Australia undertakes naval exercises with a whole spectrum of countries, from countries that only have small coast guards or maritime police forces to countries such as the US, one of our major allies, one of our two allies. And these exercises, one, start with naval diplomacy and flying the flag, but then go on the spectrum all the way up to high-end warfighting and degrees of interoperability, which are aimed at how would we fight together if we had to fight together. And so it is important to understand that there is a full spectrum. Now, Australia does naval exercises with a whole host of countries, from India to Japan to South Korea to Pacific Island nations. We participate in bilateral naval exercises. So an example of a bilateral exercise, so exercise Nichigu Trident, which is a naval exercise with Japan, where the two countries come together to practice anti-submarine warfare. So how do you hunt submarines? Big problem at the moment. 75% of the world's submarines operate in the Indo-Pacific. To multilateral exercises. So, for example, Australia has just sent a destroyer, HMAS Sydney, to participate in RIMPAC, so the Rim of the Pacific exercise in Hawaii, which is the biggest naval exercise in the world. We do some smaller ones, such as Exercise Malabar, which is the exercise initially commenced in 2007 for Australia. We withdrew for a while and came back in force in 2020. Exercise between Japan, India, the US and Australia, so the Quad countries, which is again aimed at how do we learn to work together and what are our degrees of interoperability. So it's a key element of any state's toolkit and a key function that a Navy undertakes.